Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Alright, I don't think I've seen a whole lot of requests this week that I actually was able to find in the search function, so let's go for Ebola? I mean, it wants to say that it's the #1 in all-time real diseases. Wait, did I already do Ebola? Hang on a second, I need to check something. No, I don't think I did. Okay, Ebola, #1 in all-time real diseases. So many exclamation marks! Please notice me! By Chimex83, because Chimex 81 through 82 were taken. Ebola, it was a very feared virus in 2014. It could only be spread by blood and contact with bodily fluids of someone who was infected. Yes, I do seem to recall that being quite the epidemic. A cure was developed soon after that, or at least a vaccine or something kind of close to it. Now a new strain of the virus exists, shielding it from the previous cures made. Can you be the one to end the world with the Ebola virus? Thank you all so much for those who played the scenario. It is now the #1 most popular in all-time real diseases. Pretty impressive. That said, real-time diseases is, I would say, a fairly underrated genre in Plague Inc. Everyone goes for kind of funny ones, like Cartoon Takeover and stuff like that. I mean, it can be funny, but I don't know, I kind of would like to see more people doing real diseases and trying to actually make it somewhat educational. Personally, I don't think we see enough of those, but that's just me. ATP boost Darwinist, Aquasite, Extremophile, and Symptostasis seem fine, normal difficulty, and it is Ebola. Do we get to choose wherever we want to start? Tell you what, I will start in, let's say East Africa. Just somewhere over there. Someplace I don't usually do, to add a little bit of an extra challenge and also be a little bit more thematically correct. Although I don't remember if the Ebola outbreak was in East Africa per se, you'll have to forgive me. Transmissions, we start off with blood 1 and bodily fluids. And saliva and semen increases infectivity. There's the gosh dang /n thing. It's very annoying, I don't know why that happens. It's usually not the author's fault, it's like a mistake that happens in translating the virus scenario to the Plague Inc. workshop, but it does seem to happen a lot. Bodily fluids 2, virus replicates directly in nasal cavity and spermatic tube, significantly increasing chance of infection through contact with mucus and semen. Gross! Okay, there we go, we're gonna pick that up. Evolved transmission, the Ebola virus new strain allows it to be spread by animal, insect, air, and water. I already have the point, so let's go ahead and unlock that. That leads to water, air, rodents, bird, livestock, and insect. Okay, so I like that basically we've taken the base concept of the Ebola virus and we mutate so that it actually has more of a zoonotic transmission options and stuff. Not sure if air makes a lot of sense, but water does, so we'll stick with that. Symptoms. Nausea is normal. Headache is different. Strong headache behind the eyes causes discomfort and reduces ability to work. Harder to cure. Makes sense. Joint pain. Inflammation in the joints causes pain when moving. Decreases chance of infection due to reduced movement. Rash, also normal. Coughing, also normal. Chance of infection by pathogen into surroundings, especially high-density urban areas, and for some reason we can access coughing blood immediately. I'm guessing that's supposed to be gated here, and that's a slight error, but not a big deal. Higher chance of infection due to blood being released while coughing. Effective everywhere. I've always thought that this sort of thing should only work if you've already picked up the blood transmission, which we do have, right, in the Ebola, but I'm just talking about, like, anytime you create something kind of like this in Plague Inc. scenarios and stuff, I feel like this ought to be gated behind blood, because, hey, blood's in the air, but if it's not infective via blood, then does it matter? No, not really. For this scenario, it makes perfect sense. I'm not criticizing that at all. But anyway, we have cold, heat, drug resistance, and viral instability. That is pretty standard there. Alright, starting off in East Africa, how are we doing? Well, we're spreading pretty well, actually. Kind of surprised how many people we have infected, considering it's only been a couple days. We will go for insects, probably. Pretty good in the humid environments or hot environments like East Africa. Rash is always pretty nice. We'll also go for, let's go for more blood since that's better in the poor areas, which is pretty much what surrounds us right now. So this should give us a pretty good early spread. We'll also grab livestock for the rural transmission, also quite good in Africa and around that area. And joint pain mutated for free, okay. We seem to have a pretty reasonable mutation chance. They've already detected us. Kind of surprising, actually. Skin lesions, super infective, one of my favorite things to get. We'll pick that up. Pulmonary fibrosis. Scarring of the lungs causes shortness of breath and extreme coughing. Can be fatal when combined with exercise. Which is why I never exercise, because I don't know if I have pulmonary fibrosis. No, that's just an excuse I tell myself because I don't want to live a healthy lifestyle, because I am lazy. That's why. Muscle pain. Reduces movement, increases infectivity, very severe. Nausea, surprisingly not that good. Let's focus on more transmissions and get water transmission here. so that I am a little bit more likely to get out to some islands. I will go for a couple levels of cold transmission because we're starting to work our way up north, and drug resistance for the wealthier nations as well. That should be pretty helpful. Boop-a-doop-doop-doop-a-doop-doop-doop. Okay. Birds? Sure, we'll go for birds for that land transmission. Make things slightly easier. Coughing mutated for free. Okay. That leads to the coughing blood. I guess we'll pick that up. Sure, why not? Total brain death. Holy crap, that's incredibly lethal. Gosh, I hope we don't mutate that too quickly. Let's go for the headache. That leads to confusion. Harder to concentrate on complex work. I mean, most of this is pretty darn cheap with the symptostasis. I'm not feeling too worried about it. Let's go for more drug resistance instead. So we spread very rapidly. There's a pulmonary fibrosis, so we do have a little bit of lethality. I think I actually may want to get rid of that, to be honest. Too much lethality this early on when I haven't got anywhere close to Greenland could become a big problem for me. So go for water 2, and that leads to urine transmission. Virus replicates in bladder and can be transmitted in urine. Okay, very infective. Sure. I presume this actually also gives me a little bit more water transmission, which I do like. We may have to go for some more thermal resistance here by going for the heat transmission and going for... Yeah, let's go for the heat transmission and work toward environmental hardening. I'm not spreading fast enough here in Russia, and I'm a little bit worried that that's going to come back to bite me in a pretty big way. So we do have the chest pain. That's not lethal, but it does continue to decrease the research speed. Confusion mutated, okay. As far as things that can mutate, that's pretty mild. Not too worried about that. Now we're spreading a lot faster here, and we did get into Greenland. Are we missing anything else? No. So now's the time to start ratcheting up the lethality. I'm actually going to go for a level of viral instability to get more mutation chance, because I think I'm going to have trouble getting enough DNA to take a look at all the custom things that have been added so far, because there's quite a bit of it. So let's go for vomiting blood, related to coughing blood. Gastrointestinal expansion. We've seen this before. Infectiousness through feces and vomit. Diarrhea. Poor countries are very vulnerable here. Muscle decay. Pain in the entire body causes people to want to do nothing but rest. Their muscles slowly weaken and decay, decreases future research speed, and increases lethality. A little bit of lethality is not a bad thing for me at this point, so let's go ahead and start picking things like that up. There's pulmonary edema, right here. Potentially fatal heart abnormality causes breakdown of respiratory system. Total brain death. Huge ramp up in lethality. Do I want that right now, or do I want to work on, like, diarrhea? At least a delirium. Reduction in cognitive function causes irrationality and paranoia. Some of these are pretty basic, so I always try to read the descriptions real quick just to see if, you know, there's something new, but some of these are pretty basic already in the base game, just rearranged. So we did get the total brain death, and we got hemorrhagic shock. Severe loss of blood volume causes oxygen deprivation, loss of consciousness, and death. Pulmonary hemorrhage. Severe bleeding in the upper respiratory tract and the trachea. Pick that up. No idea what's down here, though. So let's go for delirium. That leads to extreme discomfort, which when I think of discomfort, I don't think it would kill you. I just think it's uncomfortable. But okay, apparently it's lethal. Causes many people to not move or do anything, increases infectivity, lethality, and slows down the cure research speed. And this all leads to total organ failure, catastrophic cell death of multiple tissue types, causing body-wide organ failure. Only about as lethal as the total brain death. Honestly, I'm a little bit more worried about my brain completely shutting down before I'm worried about my heart shutting down. That's just me personally, though. I might be not scared enough. I don't know. We did get the total organ failure. There's something else over here. Let's pick this up. Gastroenteritis. Infective but not lethal, so nothing over here really matters. Let's just go for, let's say, a level of genetic hardening. We're going to start killing incredibly quickly now because we fully infected the world, and we have almost maxed out lethality. Pretty darn effective. Let's go for a couple levels of genetic reshuffle, set things back a little bit. There's the gastroenteritis. And if I can get 36 DNA, we'll grab this last point of genetic reshuffle, sending that cure progress back to 19%. Ebola is to destroy humanity. That's what happens, guys. All it takes is a little bit more zoonotic transmission, and bam, the whole world is dead. Ebola is a very scary disease, though, don't get me wrong. I remember seeing quite a few videos of those people in hazmat suits. Very difficult to treat if you have to deal with people's bodily fluids, but you can't let it touch you yourself. There was definitely a huge scare as far as people traveling around the world, but fortunately, it does seem like some pretty significant strides were made to try and eliminate Ebola, so hopefully it never becomes a big scare again, but I do feel bad for all the people that did die from it. Alright, 268 days, 3 stars, 94,000 points. I mean, that was pretty gosh darn effective. Most of the transmissions and stuff were actually pretty standard, so I don't feel like there was anything really unbalanced in this scenario. It was actually pretty darn good. Maybe starting in East Africa is actually a good starting location, and I had no idea. Could very well be. Either way, overall, the scenario, very well balanced. Lots of useful information for it. I do certainly love those real-world diseases. Always kind of waking me up to some of the actual scary things that do exist in this planet. But yeah, I liked it quite a bit. Lots of good customization, pretty much free of grammar mistakes. I think there's that one gating error for the coughing blood, but otherwise, free of most errors as well. Well done. I can understand then why it would be the #1 in all-time real diseases. It's pretty good though. I mean, I'm sounding sarcastic, but it is pretty good. Well done, Kymax83. I hope that your forefathers, Kymax 81 through 82, are proud of you. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your suggestions, and of course, subscribe. As always, will see you guys next time.